market
This is
stuff.
going up and down for me. It's going up and down for me. We were just up. Now we're clicking down. We're clicking down.
So I went through a lot of emotions with this book.
I'm sure.
So quick synopsis. All right. Hello, we are back.
Yes, yes,
Hi,
yes.
for another relaunch episode. I don't even know anymore. I've lost all track
20
of
something.
like time, numbers, everything. It is just like completely out of my.
Yeah. Time.
It's a,
What is time?
what? How are you doing this week, LZ?
I am. I'm surviving. You know, um, I'm I'm doing all right. I've been catching up on a lot of my old comic books.
Okay,
I think I had talked about
always
it
fun.
before, where I had all these older issues of books,
Hmm.
um, like all of my fave characters. Like there, a lot of their older stuff I had never really read before,
Yeah,
or like an issue or two. So I like made this whole timeline of books, and I made it through. I made it through the 80s.
iconic time. Who doesn't love
Wow,
the '80s? Who doesn't love the
wow.
'80s? It's everything. It's everything.
Yo, the comics in the 80s were litty. Like they were they
Yes,
were
like
they were
top
giving.
tier. It's another level. It's another level.
Yes, yes. And I have to say, the West Coast Avengers for me are way more interesting than the regular Avengers.
So I've been waiting to like have these type of conversations with you, and I'm so glad that you are like getting into all of your older comic books now because now we can like really get into like the good characters who I know you've been missing out on, especially my street level girls who
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
always tried to like, who you've always tried to like
They are present.
discount, but they're there. And so I'm
Hmm.
glad. Well, as you get, we might have to do like a reread of an arc or two of that for sure,
Yes.
so we can have
I'm
everybody
loving this
experience
right
that
now
with us.
because also like there are a lot more characters around this time with superpowers. And, I've been missing that lately. So
Yeah.
that's been great. I'm up to like issue like 64, 65 West Coast
Okay.
Avengers. And the Wonder Man living lightning relationship is way more interesting than the Wonder Man Beast relationship. They like connect on like this whole I'm like I don't know what I am thing like because
Hmm.
I'm energy and it's way more interesting than
Yeah.
the bromance stuff with Beast. Although I do like the kind of turn that his relationship with Beast kind of took recently because Beast is Beast and Wonder Man
Okay.
is like I don't know if I really agree with you, so that's been interesting. But yeah, I'm I'm thriving, living off this
Okay.
content, kicking it.
Okay. I love it. I'm here for it. Well, since you've been doing all your old comic books, let's go ahead and get into the new ones that came out this week. Now, I know you didn't read this, so I'm not even gonna like ask your opinion on it. But I had to read something new this week, and that was Action Comics.
Oh, I didn't read
Yeah, I know.
that.
But no, so I remember I think we talked about this. Like they have the Midnighter back up in it now.
Oh yes, yes, yes,
So
yes.
I had to pick it up for that. It is written by Philip.
Who in it?
Apo- I'll tell you.
Okay,
So,
okay.
so it's written by Philip Kennedy with art by Phil Hester. So the story was actually really kind of nice. It was John and Superman, like basically out in space, fighting off some aliens. So for those who don't know, I mean, I really didn't know too much about it until I actually read the issue. But John Kent is Superman's son, and he was recently in the future with the Legion of Superheroes. And so
Yes.
I guess he's now back in the present time, and
Oh,
so he and Superman are like out, kind of like having this hero dad son relationship, fighting off monsters and aliens and stuff in space. And so the monster that they go and fight, apparently, John already knows that this is the alien that kills Superman.
oh,
And
okay.
so like Superman gets hurt in the battle, and John's like all worried. He doesn't know what to do, and Superman's basically like, "What's wrong?" And John's like, "You're going to die. Like it's in all of the history books. I already know. I've seen it. Blah blah blah." But Superman's like, "Look, you don't know that's going to happen for sure." So they fight, and John basically kind of like takes over, so Superman doesn't have to do a lot of the work. And so Superman talks about how he once saw his dad fall off a ladder, and all kids go through this moment where they think their parents are invincible and all of this stuff like that. And it's like you kind of have to come to terms like something's going to happen to me one day. However, like you have to continue on, and like it was a nice moment, especially and I know we're gonna talk about this a little bit later. Just having watched Invincible and like seeing the relationship the relationship of Omni-Man and Invincible kind of like animated up on screen, and like then reading this, it was very similar in like, but in a good way. And again, for those who've seen the show, for those who've seen the show, like we'll talk about it a little bit, so you get what I see, but it's like in a good way. So it was like a really nice little moment for them. But more importantly, there was the Midnighter backup. So I think I have to actually go back and read Future State, because the Midnighter in this backup is apparently the one from the Future State future. And so he's like in the present time. And so it's not the Midnighter who we like always know and love. It's written by Becky Cloonan with art from Michael von Oming.
Okay.
So it looks really good. But basically like this Midnighter, he's got like this new supercomputer implant, and he goes through it and he's like, okay, I'm back. It's great. But this new upgrade has a voice that talks to him. Have you ever seen this movie called Upgrade?
Mm-mm.
So you should watch it. It's kind of
like something like
yeah. So it's kind of like a modern day RoboCop a little bit, not really, but like it's got like that feel to it. This guy, he gets like this chip implant that tells him like how to like do all these things, stop these crimes. It takes over his body and makes him this amazing fighter. This chip kind of reminds me of something like that. But like it's talking to Midnighter, nobody knows he has it. Apollo pops up and he's like, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? And Midnighter's like lying to him, like, I'm fine. And then he just goes to sleep and it ends. So it seems interesting enough. I'll have to pick up another issue or two of Action Comics to see like if it continues. I'm a Midnighter fan. I don't honestly know if I really love Becky Cloonan's voice for Midnighter just yet. It was a little too aggressive, like very much like I'm the bad guy. Was
it like that brooding Batman kind of feel?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit, just like a pinch of that in there. And it's like, yes, Midnighter kind of goes through these things where he's like, I'm not really like a good guy, like I do bad things, but at the same time, I get it. Like everybody kind of has to get it out of the way when they first write them, so it's like I don't put it too much into it. Like so I said, I'm gonna stick with it, see how it goes.
Yeah.
So that was
I'm glad they put that in that book, because I do like Midnighter. I'm more of an Apollo fan. But I like that they are at least putting that in that backup, especially with Action Comics. I'm sure that sells.
Oh yeah, like I was about to say, it's a Superman book. I'm pretty sure it's
right.
So and then I think it's leading into they announced the Superman the Authority book, and so Midnighter and Apollo were like two of the characters who were shown to be on that team. It's like Midnighter, Apollo, Enchantress, Natasha Irons, Steel. She's back, right? Okay, like I'm buying the Superman book. It's gonna happen. So
first of all, that sounds like every character you would want on a book.
What do you mean? Like it's
I'm like made for you.
I'm buying a Superman book. It's gonna be crazy. And Grant Morrison's writing it.
Oh. Okay, I might be in then. Yeah, I want to read that. I want to get some Apollo stories in there, so I'm into that.
I mean, yeah, Apollo's cool.
You're so shady.
All right, so moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Next up on the list, we have Black Panther number 24, Ta-Nehisi Coates, and Daniel Acuna.
Ooh.
Did you get into this?
I did not. I am not a Black Panther fan. So
same, but I really like Daniel Acuna's art, and so this issue actually is the one that had like all the Black heroes teaming up. They're like all in Wakanda, just like saving Wakanda. It's very normal. It's very fine. There's not. I honestly, I can't tell.
Or something.
Again, I haven't really been reading too much of Black Panther, so I don't know everything that happens. I can tell you that there's apparently like a secret intergalactic nation of Wakandans that like nobody knew about, and they're up in space. And so I think they were trying to actually infiltrate like the nation of Wakanda. And so Black Panther actually gets Prodigy to kind of like, this was actually like a really good Prodigy moment. Like if anything, like if you're a fan of Prodigy, I would say get this book. It's like a really good Prodigy moment. He kind of like does a bunch of battle plans. Like they hook him up to this machine and he's like telling people where to go, and like as things happen, he's kind of helping them adapt. Like Monica and Storm have like a really nice team up moment. Like Gentle teams up with like the two Patriots, Eli and Rayshawn, who both show up.
Oh
Um,
wow, okay.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of fun. Like if you like
All
black
right, they
heroes
put
in the
everybody up
MCU,
out the woodwork. All right.
Bishop still wasn't in it though. So
I
like
see. Damn.
it's just like I don't know. I mean, he's a cop, so I get it a little bit. But
Well,
yeah, he wasn't there, but everybody else was, and so it's fun for that. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. It's just like a big fun action issue. If you like a lot of the black heroes and you want to see them pop up, go pick that one out.
okay. Yeah, get that.
Yeah. And so moving on, next up on the list we have a book I didn't read. We have Cable #9, Jerry Duggan, and Phil Noto. Now you're gonna have to tell me about this.
This was a book I wonder why did I read? Because I was like, why am I still reading this book? I don't think I like it.
It's because it's Cable, right? You don't like Cable.
Yes. I don't think I really like Cable.
Mhm.
I didn't like older Cable, but when
Right.
they like de-aged him, he got a little bit more fun, a little bit of a different personality. And because he's felt new, I wanted to give this run like a try. And the initial like Gene appearances and like the Summers family appearances were kind of fun, but looking back, they just emphasized the reasons why I've been like having very different opinions about Jean Grey now,
Mm.
and kind of where she is like it
Yeah.
just is her character, um, and that's just not me. So that's kind of where I've been with her. And for this issue, like it opens with there's this like AIM submarine that's getting a little too close to Krakoa, and
Mhm.
Emma sends Cable, and I think he's dating Esme. I think he's dating Esme Cuckoo,
I
and he sends
I thought he was dating all the cuckoos.
no, he's dating Esme.
Okay.
Yeah, he's only dating. I think he's only dating Esme because um, Kid Omega is dating.
Oh,
Uh,
Sophie.
yes,
Yes. Okay.
yes. So like um they are saving this submarine in the beginning of the issue, and they like use their telepathic powers to basically take down the AIM people or whatever. And um Kid Cable gets this call that he needs to like leave and Esme is like, oh, why don't you stay with me? He's like, no, I gotta leave. And uh, no, I gotta leave. And then has this like quick conversation with Emma, and he's like, yeah, I gotta go off and like do this thing. And Emma's like, he says, can you like tell her for me that I gotta go? And she was like, yeah, I'll take care of your whatever. And Esme's like, oh, where did he leave? And Emma's like, well, I think he just told you that he would rather go deep dive into the ocean than be with you. So
Oh,
what does that tell you? Um,
poor
and
babe.
he is basically like trying to find Strife. The last issue, I think, is when we were going over him and Domino, like having that Strife thing where he's been learning that Strife has been the one behind. He thinks Strife is the one that's been behind the baby kidnappings.
Okay.
So like Agent, that like cult of X or whatever they're called, where like they were stealing babies, but then they find out that like one of the people that was involved with that was a Cable clone, and Strife had been the one who was like cloning all these Cables.
Mhm.
So our Cable is basically looking for Strife, and he reaches out to Wolverine and asks him for help to like find Strife. That he says no. He reaches out to Rachel. Rachel does this like full Earth scan, like psychically looking for Strife, and I was like, I don't know if you that powerful, girl. That don't seem
I was
right.
about to say that sounds like really strong. I mean, she did host the Phoenix. That's supposed to mean something, yes.
Yeah, when she has the Phoenix Force, that would make more sense. But when she ain't got it, like, girl, I don't know if she's able to do all of that.
Right.
But whatever. She couldn't find him. Cable goes to Magic, and because the last time they had any kind of thing where someone was sacrificing mutant babies, it was Inferno. So he's like,
Iconic.
great story. He goes to Magic, and Magic is like, maybe I can kind of find him. We go in limbo and ask some people some questions. There's this weird thing of Magic saying she's like the Beyonce of limbo. Yeah.
So go ahead, finish.
Yeah, that felt weird. Um, she could have easily been like, oh, I'm the queen of this shit or something instead of like making it a Beyonce reference, but whatever. Yeah, long story short, he's like on this mission to like find Strife, and he feels like he can only find Strife and take Strife down with his older self. So he reaches out to Hope, and he wants to basically break the resurrection protocols and revive old Cable. And he's like, I need another Cable, and I need to like break the clause of like no clones or whatever. So that part towards the end of the story got kind of interesting for me because of like the whole breaking the resurrection protocols stuff.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I was like, I'm not really sure if I really am into this series. I just don't know why I really keep up with it.
Well, it's ending soon anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what made me think like maybe I should keep up with it. But even this is just no. I'll catch the last few issues on Marvel Unlimited. I'm gonna be off this book. Phil Noto's art for me is, I've said this before, where in some issues it's great, but for the most part it's he has great like sometimes expressive faces.
Yeah.
It's like the way they're expressing some kind of emotion, but everything looks very like still. And he has great covers, obviously.
Beautiful art.
But his interiors are just, I don't really know. So
yeah, I've always kind of felt that way about his interiors. I think like his pinup poster work, fantastic. I think it's a little static, a little flat. It does in his backgrounds. I've said it before; they can be just kind of bare. So I think when he is doing like a very character-centric issue and it needs to be like up close space shots, things like that, fantastic. But if I want something that's gonna have like a little bit more action, or it's gonna have like a big surrounding or a new world, nah.
Yeah.
Love him.
So I am dropping this.
Okay. That's that.
Cable's
well, goodbye to Cable. Wish him the best though. All right, and let's see. Well, next up on the list we got Taskmaster number 5.
Now this.
So again, this is from Jed MacKay and Alessandro Vitti, and I've said it before. I love Jed MacKay.
Yeah,
he's like an up and coming star for me. I don't think between this and like his Black Cat and the Daughters of the Dragon miniseries that he wrote, like this was good. This was good. Very, very good.
Very good. I am now a Taskmaster stan.
Oh, really?
I feel like I've always had a little like soft spot for him because I just always thought he just looked cool.
He got a good design.
He's got a really cool design, and I've always been very into his abilities. And I loved his whole henchman business. I thought that was so cool. That he is truly in it for the check, and
that's it. And he lets you know.
I'm here for the check, and send your henchmen down to Taskmaster, and he'll train them up and send them on back. I thought that's great. So, but I'd never really like read a lot of stuff with him other than his appearances in other books.
Okay.
I don't think he's ever had a solo series before. I think he had a mini like back in the day, but I don't think he's ever had like an ongoing series. I wish this was an ongoing. Yeah.
It was really good. So, this was the final issue of this miniseries, and in it, Maria Hill was dead. Someone killed her, and they basically framed Taskmaster for it. So this had Nick Fury Jr. go find Taskmaster to try and help him figure out who was doing it, and then Black Widow on Taskmaster's trail to kill him. Now, we find out that there's something called the Rubicon trigger, and it had a DNA scan of like specific people, White Fox, Phil Coulson, and Okoye. And No, Hyperion wasn't one. Taskmaster just fought Hyperion. Great issue, by
Yes.
the way.
Yeah.
That was
I
nice.
was nervous for him.
Right.
I was like, I don't know how
Um,
you gonna take.
okay. And so like in this issue, Black Widow has finally caught up to Taskmaster, and like they have like this really nice fight scene drawn beautifully by Vitti. It's like brutal. Again, we see Taskmaster's photographic memory skills in action. Like he's calling on moves of different other heroes like Daredevil, Iron Fist, Shang-Chi. But again, like this is Black Widow. He talks about how she has been trained by the best of the best. She is one of the deadliest people out there, and he thinks she can't die because he saw her die, and he saw Captain America kill her in Secret Empire, and he's like, but here she is standing in front of me.
Right.
He's like,
He's like, she just won't fucking die. Like
he's
I've
like, so it
seen that
doesn't
she won't die.
matter. So that was really nice, but like right before she gets that killing blow, who comes back? But Maria Hill, and I just gotta say, this actually made me realize I really enjoy Maria Hill, like as a character.
Yeah,
Like
well, I mean,
I
she's
like her.
like the boss lady. I've
Again,
always,
but
you know,
like since her inception, Maria Hill has gotten like a lot of flack.
really.
And yeah, they hated her.
Okay.
I think it was. I mean, she replaced Fury, and you know how those Fury fans.
Oh,
They're like Barry Allen fans a little bit. Um,
yeah.
yeah, and so she would get a lot of slack for that. And so but I really like her. I don't think she does anything that Nick Fury himself does not do.
No.
And I really actually like the part where she comes back and like Natasha kind of calls her out, and she's like, you use your friends as assets. You didn't tell us the truth. And she was like, yes, I did. And I would absolutely do it again. She's like,
Yeah.
and she's like, and it's like, because really, Natasha, you know how this works. You know the spy game. You've done it yourself. It's like, don't try and get me on that. But the issue ends with basically we find out like this Rubicon trigger is this weapon that Norman Osborn used to destroy the world, because what else would anybody do? And Taskmaster has the codes that will turn it on so they can use the kill switch to dead it. But instead, when he turns it on, he says activate. So he activates it and he just walks off. And like you get all the heroes like screaming, like trying to be like, oh no, we gotta stop this. And like he does this monologue at the end where he's basically like, I'm still a bastard. I'm still kind of like a bad guy. I don't like these heroes. They use me. They played me like a chump. So I'm gonna activate this little thing. They're gonna save the day because they always do. I don't feel bad. He just like walks
I
off.
loved it. Loved it. I said, you know what? Let's give a round of applause for that.
Is that what it is? That you needed?
Yes. Oh,
Gave you
that
what
was
you needed?
actually exactly what I needed. I was like, because same, you're not finna sit there and play me in front of my face.
Okay.
And I loved that I love the moment when he said they're heroes, like they always save the day. They're gonna
Yeah.
fix this. I'm not too worried about it.
Uh-oh.
And I also really liked the way that this story was. I really wish this was going into an ongoing, but I really liked the way that this story like wove its way through like past issues and stuff, with the way that it
Yeah.
was like tied to fuck, what's his name when he was the guy who Osborn, like that whole
Oh
era.
yeah.
Like I love the way that it was
Iconic
like
era.
tied.
Dark Reign was everything. Dark Reign was everything. Like one of my favorite Marvel eras of all time. Like everything.
Yeah, I liked the way that it was like kind of tied into that. I also loved the moment when Taskmaster and Nick Fury were like driving in that car, and Nick Fury was like, um, this is crazy. Like Maria Hill is the one that made me. Like this is why I'm helping like to solve this. And Taskmaster was like, no, the moment you got made is the moment you saw me standing next to your dead mother. And I was like, oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Like talk about it. Like
I made you. I said, I know that's right.
iconic. Iconic.
I loved this issue. I really wish that it was an ongoing.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Highly recommended. Highly, highly, highly. Shout out to Jen McKay. Keep it up, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
All right. And so next up on the list, Excalibur number 19 from Teeny Howard and Marcus.
This is going up and down for me. It's going up and down for me. We were just up. Now we're clicking down. We're clicking down.
So I went through a lot of emotions with this book.
Sure.
So, quick synopsis. Psylocke 2 finally comes into the team, and she wants to help them get Betsy back. Betsy's like, Richter is trying to do a spell to get Betsy's psychic essence back into her body, the clone body that Sinister made a few issues back. And they're talking about how the spell's not working. So like Quantum kind of who's Psylocke 2, who breaks the jar that was holding Betsy's psychic essence. She flies off in the other world. Then Quantum basically chases after her. And she chases after her and basically tries to calm her down, convinces her to come back, places her in the body. Like it's a very straightforward issue. It's a very character-driven issue. I think it is actually one of the strongest issues of Excalibur to date, both writing-wise, plot-wise. Teeny puts a lot of heart and emotion into it. I think as a Betsy fan, I walked away feeling extremely unsatisfied.
Oh.
And I don't say that again because the story is bad. But for 19 issues of this book, we have had Teeny kind of like taking Betsy through this like you said, up and down battle with herself, her confidence, what she's going through, her role as Captain Britain, her fighting, her powers, all of that. And I greatly appreciate it. I think that for anyone to have a favorite character, you need your favorite character to have a moment where they get completely broken down because they have to have something to rise to. Every hero needs something to rise to. It's like the basis of being a hero. And I've said it before that I don't think Betsy's had such a deep exploration into her character probably since Remeter's Uncanny X-Force. That was the only other time that you really ever saw. I mean, there have been other times before that, but that was one of the most recent times that you can recall Betsy like they're breaking down, crying every 5 seconds, not feeling good enough, not being able to do the job, but like still kind of rising above at the end. I think this issue was the moment that everyone, I won't need to speak for everyone, that I expected Betsy to kind of like have that breakthrough moment because that's kind of what's been presented to us in the story. But we hit issue 19 and once again Betsy walks away kind of with nothing. I think Psylocke 2 was the star of the issue. She walks away kind of coming to terms with the entire body swap. She kind of comes to terms with her place in Betsy's life and Betsy's place in hers, how they'll always be a little bit connected, how they're kind of always going to be a part of each other, and they just like know that what happened wasn't really either one of theirs fault. They were both victims in this situation, and she feels at peace with it. Betsy kind of just goes along with it. You never really get into her mindset. She doesn't really say anything. She just kind of agrees with everything at the end. And that's what becomes so unsatisfying because again, for 19 issues, everyone's kind of been telling her how to feel. Everyone's been saying, oh, well, she seems very upset about this. She's very angry about this. Like she's hiding out from this. And she has herself has not had any agency in the situation. And so here was this moment that feels like it should have been something for both of them. Because again, a big part of that has been Betsy's uncomfortableness seeing Psylocke 2 back and like Psylocke 2 taking her name and like also using the butterfly and kind of being a better hero right now than she's been as Captain Britain. And so I think even if like some of the dialogue had just been given to both of them, it's just like for Betsy, it's like, no, once again, it's just someone telling her like, no, this is how it is. This is how you feel. This is what it should be. And she's just like, okay. And so it's like, when is she finally going to actually start leading some of these conversations instead of reacting to them? And so for that, it was just like, it's been a long journey.
It's been one.
It's been a very long journey.
I don't think I want to be a part of it anymore.
But again, I mean, so and I'm trying not to be too critical of it because there is still one issue left of this arc. So we find out that when Betsy's new clone body was attacking the team beforehand, it was actually Malice who was like her choker was in Betsy, or I'm gonna assume Sinister put her there somehow. And so she like took over the body, but when they put her back in it, Malice was cast out, and then she ran to Krakoa. So now the next issue is they're going to be like on Krakoa looking for her. I think this could be the potential place where Teeny kind of has Betsy like once again.
Wait, how did Malice get into Rogue?
She was trying to go into Rogue. When Betsy coughed,
when
Betsy like coughed up the necklace, she was trying to like go into Rogue.
Oh, got it.
Um,
I thought she was initially just coming out of Rogue.
yeah, no.
Got it. Got it.
Again, like it's something that the art could have showed a little
The
bit better.
art, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but but next issue could be the one where Betsy, as a Betsy fan, like what I'm looking forward to in the next issue is that could be the one where Betsy kind of like steps up and it's like, okay, we got Psylocke 2's POV of this. Now here's mine as we like go in and try and fight Malice. So let me save the day and be the hero that I'm supposed to be. So like that could absolutely still happen. I don't know if I'm actually believe it will, but
Mm,
again, I'm gonna stick. I'm. This book has me for 2 more issues. I'm
mm,
definitely going to buy the next issue because I want to see how this all ends up. I've been saying that again. I understand the journey that Teeny is trying to take Betsy on. It's just very up and down, and it's kind of getting to the point where it's like, all right, I don't even mind that she's still sad. I just mind that she can't say anything about why she's sad. It's just like I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for these character moments, and they're just not happening. And it's like the way the story is kind of told, you kind of have to pull teeth to like get to the
mm.
conclusion that you want to, and you have to like fill in the blanks. And it's like it's an extremely frustrating read. Again, Excalibur is my favorite book. Okay, it's an extremely frustrating read.
Your favorite one?
My favorite one. My favorite one. It has my favorite character. Like
I
ever.
see.
Like,
Yes.
it's like here, like it's there. What am I gonna do? Um, but I want to see how it ends, and then it definitely has me for the Hellfire Gala issue.
Hmm.
And after that, we will see.
Yeah, I won't be long because I don't want to drag on the book for myself. But I got into this book, this series anyway, because I do like Betsy, and like I was always a fan of her during like that Outback era. Betsy is probably my favorite of hers. Um, back when before she became like the sexy ninja girl. And I thought that as we got more into Excalibur, we were going to explore more of her.
Mhm.
And now that she's come away from the whole like sexy ninja girl motif and she was back in her original body, but I don't know. I realized that like I don't care about Excalibur. So
Yeah,
like
I don't think
I
anyone
don't
does at this point.
Otherworld or any of that shit. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about the mutant magic. It didn't turn out to be like kind of what I thought it was going to be. Um like it, it becoming this whole like synergy thing to me feels like I don't know,
I think my thing with
unsatisfying.
mutant magic, I think my thing with mutant magic is I don't mind it. I still like the concept. I think it's still. I think again, Teeny kind of like relies too much on the reader to like do the work of like how it works and what it should be doing instead of letting the
Mhm.
characters explain that a little bit more. Even like when we had Richter like yelling about why his spell didn't work, it's why does it matter where they are? Like who's kind of the basis of that? Those are still things we don't know, and we're still kind of waiting on answers for.
Richter is a whole new character.
Yeah, he's awful. He's like actually my least favorite part of the book. Um,
Like a
but I
whole new one.
also, but I also think my thing with mutant magic is that once we kind of realize that mutant magic, mutant technology, mutant synergy, all of these like different names are just mutants using their powers together, it kind of lost. Like in my opinion, I think all of them just kind of lost their luster. Like it sounds cool, like in the beginning, it's a very nice concept. It's a different way to use it, but it's like let's call a spade a spade. It's just mutants like combining their powers, which
The
is
power,
great,
yeah. Hmm.
which is like great and cool and it's like fun to see and I appreciate the name, but it's like you don't have to do so much work to make this work. It's a very simple. You know what I'm saying? It's
No.
like Richter shouldn't be like fasting and struggling and like doing all of this stuff to read all these books. Like combine your powers. Do whatever you need to do.
Just keep it moving. You don't have to go through this whole like grimoire thing and all of that. Like, I don't know. I feel like we could have gotten here a lot faster.
Yeah. So that's that. Again,
So
I think
and
the
so
issue
then like
was
outside of that stuff, like
mm,
then the Betsy stuff was what was kind of keeping me into the book because I
yeah.
wasn't so much into the Excalibur stuff. But even that for me has been just kind of flat. Like I know that this has been something that she has always like worked towards. She wants to be Captain Britain, but I feel like now I want to hear more about what this all means from her and
Exactly.
All we've ever gotten is everybody telling us how she's supposed to feel, or random characters from the 90s who haven't progressed yet sitting around doing nothing. That's all. That's what the rest of the team is. A bunch of characters from the 90s who haven't done anything since.
Okay. Wow.
I'm truly.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm not.
We're in a whole new era, and it's time to like push these characters forward, and they're just like sitting around doing nothing.
The whole team could be like, honestly, this book can be repurposed into it can honestly still be called Excalibur, but if they're not named Braddock, they don't need to be in the book.
Right.
Betsy, Brian, Megan, Maggie, and Jamie. That's really all the book needs.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, you can maybe bring in like a couple of other like magically attuned mutants or something like that. I wouldn't mind a pixie showing up every now and again. But
Betsy solo then at that point. Just do that.
Yeah.
This
I
would probably
agree.
be a better book if it was just a Betsy solo. And
Agree. And I think that's where Teeny shines. Like, again, like this was a great issue for Psylocke too, like because it was Teeny was focused on like one single character. And again, and this is where I say it kind of feels frustrating because I think about the moment where she like runs out with the Starlight Sword. And Betsy is like taking in her body again, and they have this moment where she's like, I know you're not really the person who's going to like take my body for your own gain. Like, that's not who you are. That's not what you're about. Use my body. It's like when she pops back through and she's holding the Starlight Sword, it just feels like a moment for her. Like, where's Betsy? Oh, because Betsy's supposed to, because the sword is purple. And she's like, oh, temporarily I'm both. It just looks like you. And that's something where I say and that's something where I say I feel like the art would have helped a little bit, because you could have like if when she came through, if the hair was like dark purple again, you know what I'm saying? To just kind of like give that little callback together and conjoined. It's just like, it just did not feel like a moment for Betsy, and that's what it was touted as. So it's like, again, I think Psylocke 2 has had an amazing character journey from fallen angels to Hellions to now. She feels complete. She feels different. She feels new. Like, and I think about her as a character, it's interesting because she is the assassin. Like, she's done all this stuff. She's kind of at a point right now, I feel like, where she just wants to chill. Like, if her daughter came back and you got Greyco and her, and you got to let them live on Krakoa, just doing nothing, just being happy together, they would be fine.
Yeah.
Betsy would not be fine with something like that. And I think that is a very distinct difference in their characters that I'm so happy I can like very clearly see. Like, these are two different women now. And it's like, that is great. That's great.
So do you feel like Betsy has come away from that whole assassin motif then? That whole thing?
Yeah, yes, but I feel like they were trying to move her, like, even before she switched back, or before she became Captain Britain, like, they were trying to move her away from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had put the X-Force days behind her a little bit. She was like trying to find redemption. She was trying to be the hero again. When she was on Magneto's team, her whole thing was like, I'm tired of like killing. I'm tired of being this hero of the shadows. Like, I'm working with you to do good, but it's just not working. And
she was more there to like watch him, to make sure that he didn't like, step out of line.
Yeah,
the rest of the team.
Yeah, she was like, I don't care. She's like, I'll do it. She's like, but I don't want to. But that's always kind of been Betsy's thing anyway. She like struggles with that aspect. So it's like, it's fine. Again, I think the story of Excalibur and what it's doing and breaking her down, and like her kind of struggling with being this open hero that is Captain Britain, where you can't do things like sneak around and like shank somebody with your psychic knife. You have to be like out in the public eye. You have to be this representative for people, even if you don't want to be it. It's great. I just think I would like a little bit more payoff. And again, it's not, I don't need her to like jump from sad to like bad bitch in 10 seconds.
Right.
I've been reading Immortal Hulk for however many issues, and Bruce is still sad. Like, Bruce is still sad and suffering. However, we know that because he's talking about it. Like, he's saying it. You're getting those character moments, and that's what's keeping you invested. It's just getting a struggle to like stay invested in something that I have to keep creating myself.
Ooh, all right, that was a word.
So that was Excalibur 19. Come back for issue 20. The team will be fighting Malice. I do like Malice. I think she's a very interesting villain. We'll see what happens.
You know, I have a very interesting
Oh, you
relationship with
do. Because of Lorna. Yes, yes, yes. I forgot all
Andrew.
about that. Yeah.
My
Oh, that's
literally
right.
Malice has taken over both of my top two favorite characters,
Yeah,
and
she.
both times, all it did was just show how bad ass my faves are.
That's all it is.
I mean,
Malice,
it's
Malice, and Proteus were like always good to like just remind you that these characters are
yeah.
powerful. Because they're gonna take over your powers and use them better than you, and just gonna be like, oh, it's like I'll never forget during the Necrosha arc when Proteus took over Husk, and he was like, I don't like this power. It's ugly. It's random. But like it's effective, and he makes her go to some form where she starts like shooting off fire blasts. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, she's
Yeah.
cool. She's not, but she's cool.
She's not.
All right, and so to round us off with the comics of the week this week, I guess, is Guardians of the Galaxy number 12,
Yes.
Al
Back up
Ewing
again.
and Juan Cabal. I'm at a point where I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. This is like Immortal Hulk territory for me. Like it's good.
It's
I don't know what
getting there. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. Like pick it up. I
Like,
am a
yeah.
little like I'm a little upset because Wonka Ball is like leaving the book for the next few issues. So
No,
okay, so the book is fantastic. I'm just gonna go to the ending of it, where basically a bunch of scrolls come up to the Guardians and they're like, "We have to change the way you guys work. It's not effective anymore." And so they thought they were gonna shut them down.
It was Kalart, Super Scroll. He's like
Oh,
the
what?
like yeah, the
Oh,
leader
yeah.
of the.
I don't really, you know, the scrolls. I'm not
But you
into
know,
that.
it's all. But it's like he like is the skull rep, but like what's his name? Your boy's husband is the leader of this Kree Scroll Empire now.
Yeah.
You don't care about
So, so he pops down. He's like, the Guardians gotta like do a little bit better. And so they think Nova's like, you can't shut us down. He's like, what is that going to do for anybody? Like, no. And so the ending of the book kind of shows like a big splash page of the new team. The Guardians are like working in the Galactic Council of some sort, it seems like. And
I'm loving it.
the roster has expanded a little bit. So we see like Adam Warlock in there. And so for the next few issues, we see that it's going to be even bigger. We see that folks like Wiccan and Hulkling are going to be on the team, but we have a new artist for that arc. So I don't know if Juan Cabal is just taking a break, but he needs to come back because the fact that Wiccan wasn't in that splash page with all the other new team members drawn by Juan Cabal, I'm like very upset. And if I don't get a Juan Cabal Wiccan, I'm going to like.
That splash page is what actually made me realize, I usually am in that super powered space, like not quite cosmic, but definitely not like a shoe level. But I was like, should I get it more into the cosmic books? I've read a lot of them, but I feel like I haven't read a lot of like the long standing runs for people.
Ones.
Like
you should.
That splash page made me think, should I get into Nova? I feel like Nova.
I feel like Nova's a character
you would like. Yeah, yeah. But I don't know if I've ever really. I don't know if I would like Nova as much as I may like the core or someone in the core. I don't know how big of a. I don't know if they've ever taken Nova to the Green Lantern route where there was like this expansive core and like you can pick your favorite one kind of thing, or if they always just focused on Richard Rider. But I think I want to get into like Nova and more of the cosmic characters.
You should. Tell me how
it works. Also made me realize just how powerful Moondragon is. I feel like I undersell her like telepathy.
Like that was the dragon of the moon, baby. She came out. She came out like beautiful again. Like the art. This is a showcase on like how good Wonka Ball's art is because the way he like made all of those pages look from like when she was transforming to when she like trapped them in the psychic prison to when like Novar, Star-Lord, and Moondragon like combined their powers together to make like the black hole bullet. Like
yes.
When this is a movie,
the way the bullet like was combined and shot over, I like the way that he mapped out those pages was really dope. The way that Moondragon used her telepathy to trap that Olympian in Groot's head, and the way that it like like transformed into I Am Groot was so cool.
It was sick. Beautiful. This was my comic book of the week, hands down.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
You gotta go. People gotta go pick it up. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what else to say really about this. It was really great. They fought all of the Olympians. They obviously won at the end. Um, no major casualties. The best part was for me was the expansion of them at the end. You know, I love a rotating roster.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I
always good.
love a rotating roster. So I'm excited to see like where the whole like team goes. It looks like they are gonna have two Quasars because it
Yeah,
looks like
I think both are there, the girl and the
yeah.
guy. I don't really know too much about the Quasar, so it's like I don't know what to tell you, but they're
They
there.
have like they have the like bands that basically give them like Green Lantern like powers. Almost like exactly kind of like Green Lantern powers. um I don't
We'll
know
see.
the girl was in the Captain Marvel book, I
I
think.
remember the girl from Secret Empire,
Empire. Yeah.
and she like was in a coma or something, and Carol was like crying to her. But again, I didn't know
Yeah.
it was. I'm not into
Time. Yeah. It was a different time.
it.
But definitely pick this book up, y'all. It's really great.
Absolutely.
What else to say? But
That was
go
it.
get it.
That was it. But those were the books of the weeks. Let's go ahead. Let's take a little break. We'll come back.
Let's do it.